Hey, everybody, let's lock in on this one because the NCAA just proposed something that could completely flip the recruiting process for high school athletes. And it's not the NCAA House settlement, it's not the essays, and barely anyone is talking about it yet. What if I told you college athletes might soon get 5 seasons to compete instead of 4? That's right, 5 seasons. And that's this rule. Already in motion for Division 2 is this is quietly being discussed at Division 1 also. So if you're a parent, athlete, or a coach, this isn't just a policy change. This could be a tidal wave. And it's going to reshape rosters, recruiting, transfers, decisions for years to come. Before we dive deeper into this, I want to give to you 2 free recruiting resources that thousands of families have already downloaded and found helpful. The first is 10 Steps to Take when coaches don't call after a live event. The second, the #1 recruiting mistakes athletes make during the July live period. These guides are short and actionable, and they're designed to help your family regroup and re strategize immediately. You can grab both for free right now at the link in the description or by visiting keithmondillo.com. So let's get into this. Once again, I'm Keith Mondillo, and I've been a college basketball coach and NCAA director of athletics for over 30 years. I've seen a lot of rule changes, some helpful, some really confusing, and some that completely shift how recruiting works. Today's proposal could be the biggest change in years. We're breaking down the new Division II recommendation to allow athletes to compete, listen to this, in 5 full seasons of eligibility within 10 semesters or 10 quarters of full-time enrollment. But this is bigger than just Division II. It's being talked about at the Division I level, and you can be sure that Division III will follow soon after. So what does this mean for current college rosters, high school athletes, transfer strategy, and recruiting timelines? Let's dive in. Currently, student athletes in Division II have 4 seasons of competition to use within the 10-semester window. That's the standard model most all of us are familiar with. The new proposal says give student athletes 5 seasons of competition in that same 10-semester period. And here are the key changes if this passes. Every competition counts. Any appearance in a game, no matter how short or what time of year, counts as a season, unless you're a Division III or non-Division II transfer who wasn't charged a season under your previous rules. Waivers and exceptions are being slashed. Right now, athletes can participate in non-championship segments or alumni games without using a season. That would be gone. A narrow list of exemptions remains: military service, religious missions, study abroad, internships, pregnancy, Olympic training, and verified injury or illness. And that's it. Why this shift? Data shows that more and more student athletes are taking longer than 4 years to graduate. 63% graduate in under 4 years. 30% take 4 to 5 years, and 7% take even longer. The NCAA says this change modernizes eligibility to better reflect how students are moving through college. But this is more than a tweak. It changes everything from scholarship planning to recruiting timelines. Let's talk about the real impact. If this passes, coaches will have the option to keep their rosters intact for 5 years, but turnover slows down. That means fewer openings. You might normally expect 6 or 7 players to graduate and open spots for recruits. That number can drop by 30 to 50% in some programs. For high school athletes, especially uncommitted seniors and walk-ons, this clogs the pipeline. And there's the transfer layer too. Let's say an athlete starts 4 years at a solid D2 program. They're graduating, but still have 1 year of eligibility left. What do they do? They're transferring up. Division I coaches will absolutely pick off these proven players. So not only will high school athletes have fewer opportunities, they'll now compete against experienced 22-year-olds and 23-year-olds in the portal. Here's the part no one is saying publicly yet. This exact conversation is happening in Division 1, quietly, but behind closed doors, coaches are prepping. Compliance staffs are talking, but it's not public knowledge yet. And let's be honest, if D2 passes this, Division 3 will have to follow. They almost always do when it comes to eligibility. So even if your child isn't targeting a Division 2 school, this change is going to affect your strategy. So what does this mean for families? If you're a parent of a high school athlete, this is where you need to lock in. There's going to be fewer roster spots. Coaches will be more selective, and the window to get noticed will shrink. You can't wait for someone to find your child. That is over. You need a real communication plan with structure, urgency, and clarity. Because in a system where fewer athletes leave rosters each year, standing out becomes even harder. This isn't about sending random emails. It's about the right messaging, following up, and timing. Why is communication your edge? This is exactly why I created the complete communication bundle. Because what families need now isn't more hype, it's execution. You'll get proven templates that coaches actually respond to, a timeline that aligns with recruiting windows, the right questions to ask on visits and phone calls, and a step-by-step guide to help your athlete go from overlooked on the radar. In a system like this, where athletes are staying longer and transfer rules favor experience, communication is the one thing you can control. So go to keithmondillo.com and grab the complete communication bundle today. As a coach, I can tell you, we're still processing all of this. Just like we were with the NCAA House settlement, this is new and it's going to change a million times. But if passed, this changes roster forecasting, scholarship math, and team chemistry. Do I have a spot for a fifth-year player? Do I risk losing a junior to potential portal if I bring in a transfer? And how do I manage expectations with incoming freshmen? This is going to require long-term planning like never before, but most families won't hear about this until it's too late. This proposal could pass as early as the 2026 NCAA convention in January. But if history is any guide, the momentum is already moving forward. And if it does, the recruiting world shifts overnight. Again, similar to the House settlement. So that's why I'm urging you to take action now. Start with the 2 free guides that I mentioned earlier in the broadcast. Then, when you're ready to go deeper with the communication bundle, it's not just about information, it's about execution. And if you found this helpful, hit the like, leave a comment, and subscribe. We are not a recruiting service. We are an educational resource that helps families make smart, informed decisions about college athletics. We talked about this weeks ago with the NCAA House settlement and the DSAs. That was just in the beginning of July. There were things that happened to roster spots, roster caps that people didn't know about. And we got an unbelievable response, and we got a lot of questions that we answered as best as we could because things are changing. And this is something that's changing. If this is passed by the end of August, this can go right to the NCAA convention in January. This could become the NCAA rule as of fall of 2026. It's all speculation at this point, but from what I'm hearing on the inside, this is going to pass. So you need to be ready. All right, we're going to talk about this as things develop. But until then, we'll see you in the next video. Take care and good luck.